Now there's something interesting. In that house, according to the sign, that was the place that Martin Niemöller was born in 1892, and he lived there until he was 8 years old. He was the U-boat commander in the First World War, who then became a priest, or a vicar I should say, and who then went on to one of the best known people in the opposition to the Nazis. It was he that said they came for them and then I did nothing, and then they came for them and I did nothing, and then they came for them and did nothing. When they came for me, there was no one left to defend me. First they came for the communists, and they came, but I wasn't a communist, so I did nothing. And then they came for the socialists, I wasn't a socialist, so I did nothing. Or words to that effect, I can't quite remember the right order. That's pretty magnificent. Behind me is the Stadt Palace, I suppose that means town hall, something former town hall, I don't know. That's a lighthouse, I don't know. The town was ruled from there in the 18th century. Oh, that seems very Germanic to me. Oh, this is really attractive. Superb. So I've read the sign, and these are various people from Lipstadt. That's the geezer who founded the place with his sword. I think that's maybe Frederick the Great, although I don't know. There's written something like that. There we have the various people who had done something here for whatever reason. Incredibly attractive local fountain. Something you bond with who come from the place. Oh, and a wonderful little map like I saw in other moats last year. Oh, great, fantastic. Oh, really attractive. Super. So, I find this half-timbered house here. A very attractive lettering. Now, Lipstadt goes back 825 years. It's 825 years since that map thing was made. For a house like that is what? Probably 18th century. I don't think it's any earlier. Could be wrong, of course. Now here we have a stone which appears to be a memorial to the Jewish population, and if this date, we've got a date here of 1350, which I don't know if that's meant to represent when the first Jews actually came here. What, look, next to 1541 or something written next to it in Hebrew, which unfortunately I can't read. But there we have, well, I think this could mean that, we see there there's the Judenstrasse, Jewish street, and Friedhof, a cemetery. And if that's meant to take place sometime in the 18th century, perhaps, we see the names of people here. Now, I actually do have a friend who comes from, his family comes from this town, and although her name doesn't appear to be there, and some are somewhat Jewish names, but others are absolutely German names. Yeah, 1942, I presume that's the, okay. So from here, I don't quite know what happened to the population from here. If they were taken to Minsk or to Kovno or Riga and shot there, or could potentially have ended up in Auschwitz, or even Sobibor for that matter, or even Treblinka, but no, it's less likely, I think. So the charming building, we've got the date of 1657 for the renovation, and that one there we've got 1920, I think it is. I just thought there was a big fire here in 1656. In any medieval town, when the big fire struck, or the last big fire struck, is actually the date which the town effectively dates from. So for the last big fire was in 1656, the oldest buildings in this town are going to be from that period, unless for some reason they actually survived, as I showed at Windham in Norfolk a couple of months ago. Okay, curious writing above that as well. Well, this calls itself the Market Square, but maybe it's the parking for the Market Square, because I think the Market Square is really where the fountain is. And that's the Marienkirche, which I know that because all the churches in Germany are called Marienkirche. They've got no other names for them. And, well, at least that's the way it seems to me. Well, church door seems to have various scenes from the New Testament. Don't recognise them all, but I suspect that's what it is. Now, this rather fine house here dates from 1658, so it's just after the fire. A wonderful half-timbered house, and this is a house which belonged to a farmer, Eckeberger House. Now, it's somebody who learned their living from the land, but would return to the town at night, so that's for protection. And clearly, I mean, many of these towns around here are designed for protection, sort of a round shape. Even today, it's quite clear. And farmers of the ages sometimes were wealthy, sometimes were poor, and these whoever lived there, that was clearly alright for a few bob. It's not very pleasant. Got cycleways everywhere, but they're not very wide. Okay, historical Kappelstrasse. Got a couple of unusual things here. The eaves here are facing the street, and I don't normally get that in gabled houses. It's normally the other way around. They're at the back, but I presume that they face the street, so the stuff can be hoisted up. Oh, very attractive. Yeah. So this is the site of the former synagogue in Lippstadt, and it was consecrated on 30th of July 1852. It didn't actually stand as we see the buildings today. It was in fact actually set back from the street, and it was destroyed on 9th November 1938 by the Nazi thugs. And after the war, it wasn't actually rebuilt as it had been before. The garden was sort of built upon. It became a warehouse, and here it's not with some kind of an office or loft or some fun-looking houses or something. Nazis actually broke not only broke the gables, only the outer walls actually stood there. So on the ground floor it had a prayer room, and there was a schoolroom where the Jewish elementary school was on the first floor. And then the garden was a sort of a changing cabin. I don't know what the point of that was. The toilet and other things were down there. Now this is the abandoned nunnery. I think it goes back about 800 years, and the debate was at the beginning of the 19th century whether to knock it down or to what to do with it. And the local ruler decided to keep it as a ruin, and it's said to be one of the best looking ruins in the western part of Germany. It said, I mean, I don't know who by, but I just said it, but I'm just quoting somebody else. So this is the park of the nunnery. I've got to say it's pretty impressive. The nunnery itself reminds me of some of the magnificent buildings you see in Britain. Well, they're ruins because they were destroyed during the Reformation in the 1530s, and this one wasn't destroyed, it just fell to bits. It's been protected now as a ruin, left here. Very nice surroundings with some I presume, modern art, or don't know what that is. I don't know if that's what was once some type of altar or font or something. I don't know if the stand for the font, whatever. Now that building in front is the guild hall for the Butchers Guild, and it was built after the fire, but it's got the date on the front of 1574, I think it is, which is misleading deliberately, because that shows the date not of the house construction, but the date of the foundation of the guild. And below there was a place for the animals where they were kept, the pigs and the cows and whatever, when I killed before they killed them. And upstairs they had their meetings and whatever they did. And the building survived the dissolution of the guilds. Well, the building survived, but the guild continued. They did this because one of their members pretended to have bought it, or they secretly paid rent, and so all the butchers could continue to use the entire building. They have the date. I got the real date there, 1658, so it's 2 years after the last fire, and renovated in 1977, so it's not 1574 as is clearly shown there. Here, kind of far out opstellen. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. You see this passageway through the guild halls, sort of half imagine it's being sort of stables, barns, or whatever they're called, the place where the animal waits before it's killed. But what I nearly missed was this passageway down here, turning around. So I've got a wonderful view down there of the church. That's pretty magnificent, I'd say. These magnificent half-timbered houses. Now, half-timbered houses often be quite small, but when people earned a bit of cash, then they build bigger houses. Or occasionally people band together and have houses all together. They're 1659, so it's just after the fire. And so this is clearly was the wealthiest street. And if you see my film of Lavenham in Suffolk, which I filmed in March, 2 months ago, see a magnificent collection of half-timbered houses. In fact, I've never seen such a magnificent collection of houses anyway. So this is High Street, Lipstadt, and I've got to make my way back to the car, because if not I'm going to miss my meeting. I thought I had so much time to kill, is probably the right word in a place like this, to enjoy myself on. And the thing is, if I hang around here any longer I'm going to miss it. I have now got a guide, which they kindly gave me in the Tourist Information Centre, so I'll know more, and I'm definitely going to come back here, so please accept this as being part 1. And I'll do part 2 later. A rather odd crusader type figure on the war memorial of the First World War, in a rather prominent position. You can see there what's written here. I've noticed also that in the Jewish cemetery there was also a memorial. That was the Jewish people. That was obviously here for all Germans. No doubt there's a memorial in the other cemeteries for the appropriate religions. Right, I was here earlier. This is the railway station.